Good evening, people. Welcome to Reaching Out with Great Hope, where my guest today is Craig Houston, running for Supervisor, District 2, Lauderdale County, Meridian, Mississippi. How you doing, Craig?
Doing good.
Folks, I gave you a phone number, and the phone number is wrong. The number to call in when you want to call in is 601 627 5318. Again, I'll tell you it's 601 601 627. I'm used to saying 527, but 627 5318. Also, you can go to YouTube and like us on Twitter. We have our webpage. Our webpage is reachingoutwitheddie.com. Email address is reachingoutwitheddie@yahoo.com. Of course, when you go to our webpage, you can just hit the Twitter button. We have an icon for Twitter, and also we have a blog that you can always leave your messages, comments. If you have ideas, call in. What I wanted to be, Craig, I wanted to be a blue wave in Lauderdale County. I just got to tell you that. I wanted to actually be a blue wave in the United States, but we're talking about Lauderdale County right now. And for supervisor also, isn't it?
District 5.
In District 5. And Marie Franklin is going to be my guest here, if not Tuesday, in the future. I'll let you know that. But I can tell you that Michael Grace, the attorney that was arrested a few days ago, is going to be my special guest next Thursday, a week from today, October the 3rd. So make sure you tell somebody and tell somebody. Craig, what is going on with you? I gotta give all praise to my tech. Dice man, how you doing?
All right, man.
You know, I can't say play me a song, Dice Man. Yeah, even though we have our license, we still working with that. But we have the music. We don't want YouTube to stop us, and they'll do that. So what we're trying to do is put our license. Craig, we actually went and purchased a license for ASCAP, and currently getting ready to do it with BMI. So we're doing everything so that nobody can have a reason to shut us down or stop us in any time. I want to say hello to all my family and friends throughout the United States. I got a friend out in Las Vegas. I have family in California. So I just want to say hello to everybody. I want to tell you some of the things that I talked about last week, folks. You know, I saw the movie Black Klansman, Craig, and it really was good. I didn't think that I would enjoy it, but I really did. And what made me enjoy it is that they had Stokely Carmichael there, and so that's like one of my heroes, unsung heroes. So I'm gonna quote one: "Before a group can enter into the open society, it must first close rank." And that means a lot to me. That tells me that what we got to do as a people, that we have to unite and we got to close rank, especially if you're going to lead me, Craig, if you're going to lead my community, then you got to understand the heartbeat of you got to know the tone of the community. And what we have in Lauderdale County right now, we have Wayman Newell, who's a supervisor, been a supervisor for 12 years, and has not done anything. Craig, what are some things I want you to tell me? Look at Wayman Newell's report card and tell me what has he done and what could he have done in the 12 years.
So how they close ranks and how they work together. Now, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that one person can change everything, but what I will tell you is one person can change a mindset and one person can change the conversation. Because, you know, you and I talk a lot, Gray, and we always have what I call honest conversation. Switch him out. His mic is not coming through. Go ahead.
Um, One of the things that I want to talk about is that his platform. And Craig, I want to ask you. I gotta ask you, what is your platform? What is your vision for Lauderdale County? We can talk about what Mr. Newell has not done. Is as I talked about the discretionary money that they have. I've talked about things that could have been done in Highland Park. I want you to touch upon that. Um,
Okay. 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 Truthfully, now Highland Park. That anything that has come up before the board inside the inner city has been shot down by Mr. Newell. Highland Park, it was shot down by Mr. Newell. He was one of those votes that voted against it.
when you say Highland Park, what is it
When
could
I
have
mean
been done
Highland
at
Park,
Highland
what could have been
Park?
done at Highland Park was a sportsplex. It was an indoor sportsplex. It was going to have about 8 basketball courts, indoor soccer, and could be utilized year round, and it would have benefited the youth really in the inner city. Now that was shot down, and that was shot down by Mr. Newell. He does not support projects like that. You know.
And people, you got to look at it. The only reason why Mr. Newell is not supporting these projects is because it's in the black community. But we're the one that's feeding him. We're the one that keep electing him, and we got to do something different. This is our last chance to really make a difference because is something going on? Okay. When I see my engineer, when I see the dice man moving around, folks, I get a little bit upset. Okay, he said keep going. He gonna have to get some signs and hold up or something so I can understand.
But one of the things too, you look at the Velma Young Center over in East End that was constructed in the last several years. Mr. Newell wasn't a supporter of that. And now that's dead in the heart of the largest precinct in District 2. There's 2,180 registered voters in District 2, by far the largest one. So you have to take care of your people. But that idea was taken by another supervisor, which was Mr. Joe Norwood, which was handed to Mr. Dustin Markham, who's the former city councilman of District 2, which was presented to the city council, and which they voted to get the project going. Now, the county did dirt work, but, I mean, that was Joe pushing it. It wasn't Mr. Newell. It wasn't his idea. Now, when it came down to it, the county did do the dirt work. But when it came down to it, Mr. Newell couldn't find in his budget or in his heart to put 1 penny into that project. Yet Joe Norwood, who is a District 4 supervisor and not even his district, took $50,000 out of his discretionary money and put into that project. That tells you all you need to know when it comes down to putting resources. You got to put resources into areas. Now with that center, I think it's underutilized. We need to use it more. We need to have adult education and training classes. I mean, that's a fabulous facility over there.
And they need to open it up to the
We need
entire community.
We need to open it up in Boys and Girls Club. But it's open to the Boys and Girls Club, and they have programs going on now. But it needs to be even more open. It needs to be utilized and to its full extent. MCC will partner and train people. You can have programs at night. We need to do those types of things. That's what I'm saying with a mindset and thinking. I want to lift our people up.
It opens and closes with the Boys and Girls Club, but it could do more. And while we appreciate what the Boys and Girls Club do in the community, but it could do more.
Definitely. And because I'm not trying to take a shot at anybody, I'm just saying there are programs there, but it needs to be utilized more. And like I said, I want to lift our people up and give them skills and let them know that somebody cares about them. We're getting left behind in Lauderdale County. You travel in other areas. You travel too, Gray. You go right up to the Golden Triangle.
That's right. But if I go to Wayman Newell and ask him why, suppose Wayman said, "Hey, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the budget. I couldn't do this." Is that true?
But you have 12 years. 12 years.
What about the money in the discretionary?
12 years. Do the math. 12 years. If you can't find it to support a project that's a once-in-a-lifetime project, What does that tell you?
And people, I gotta say this, is that we cannot just elect a person because they're cleaning off a graveyard. But that is not good enough. I mean, do you realize you might as well hand us out watermelons, and our children are continually leaving. The population is declining. We got to have more than that. We got to hold our elected officials accountable. Here it is, a black man running for that district that was created by the Justice Department for a black person, and you got black people that are voting for this man, that he's paying them to support him. If he was doing a good job, they wouldn't have to pay him. Yes, I'm gonna beat up on him until he's get up out of there. We need to get him up out of here.
Well, like, the mindset has to change. I mean, I want to see our city grow, and I want to see our city, our county grow and flourish. I like to institute some programs that were beneficial to me as a youngster, that touched me and helped point me in the right direction. Now, I grew up in District 2. I grew up most of my life around St. Francis and on Marion Road and in Marion. That's where I grew up at. You know, it means something to me. And, you know, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, also Toomsuba. Toomsuba has a ballpark out there, a park. I mean, just think about it. You hadn't done anything to improve that park. Now, after 12 years, just say if you took $5,000 or $10,000 a year and say, I'm going to put into this park. After 10 years, you can see a real noticeable change.
That's right.
You don't have to do it all at one time. And I know money is tight, but you don't have to do it all at one time.
Craig, from what I understand, that each supervisor has $1 million to spend like they want to.
Yeah, you have money.
So
to
he
spend
done
like
had
you want
$12 million to spend.
You've had $12 million to spend. Now you have to do. Now look, you got to maintain roads and things like that.
I understand.
That has to be done, but you also have to do something to improve people's lives, daily lives. Give people something, you know, that means something to people out in Toomsuba. When you go out and you talk to them, they want something done out there. Now, let me tell you something. My mindset is way beyond just doing parks and just these programs. I want to see our community grow. I want industry to locate here. I want to work together with other areas and do what they do in other areas to grow. I mean, you go and you travel and you see these other places, like you take up around Pontotoc, Union, and Lee counties, which is Tupelo, New Albany, and whatnot. They work together. They came together and formed an organization called PULL. Pontotoc, Union, Lee County. They got together, all the mayors, all the city councilmen, the aldermen, all the chambers of commerce, economic development teams, and county supervisors. Guess what they did? They got together. They put aside differences, and they did what was better for that region. And they landed Toyota. And they landed everything.
And people, if you want to call in, the number to call in is 601-627-5318. And again, if you want to watch us, or somebody telling you about it that you want to watch us, you don't know, just go to YouTube and type in "Reaching Out with Eddie" and it'll come up. And like us. Make sure you like us. Make sure you like us. I understand. Hey, like us. Like us. Anyway, Craig, continue. And
I'm just, like I was saying, I was talking about growth. You got to be able to see it to do it. If you don't see it, if you don't have that mindset, that's not something you're going to do. And I mean, we've seen over leadership over the last 12 years, that mindset is not there. It's time out for the fish and the deer meat and the vegetables that you bring people, or the plates that you buy, the snowballs that you buy for kids. Now, that's all well and fine, but we got to improve the daily lives of people. And I challenge all elected officials in this area. Let's do better. People expect us to do better. The EMBDC, they have to do a better job. You got to hold everybody's feet to the fire. I mean, time after time, year after year, it's like we're like, again, on that hamster wheel. It's around and around and around. You hear about Lauderdale County, we got 5920 running through here. We got rail running north, south, east, and west.
That's right.
We actually have the longest runway in the state of Mississippi right out at Keyfield. People wouldn't even know that. You hear all these things that we don't have qualified people. That's not true. Stop putting our people down and let's lift our people up. They deserve better. They deserve somebody.
I got to stop you right there. You got to elaborate a little bit more when you talk about qualified, because our people are not getting educated.
But the thing about it, though, Gray, we have
when I say our people, I'm talking about our children.
We have access to getting our people educated. You have workforce development around here. You tell me a area like a West Point that's struggling and going through similar things that we are, how can they attract industry and their people get trained and their school systems have gone through problems? And
I
we
agree
can't.
with you. The problem with us is that we have the qualified people, but we don't take advantage of that talent. We don't have the most qualified person in the position that they're in, and you can tell that the way everything right here is just going down.
But like I was saying, though, if we attract industry, you got MCC that can train you to do anything.
Yeah.
You got East Central. You got Scuba. You got East Mississippi Community College. You even got West Alabama.
You got to first get out of high school, Craig, in order to
Yeah,
get into that.
you got.
We got a problem. Meridian Public School is an F.
Well, actually, it's a D. But
it's
I mean,
a D now. Not much difference between an F and a D.
Actually, it's a D.
It's a D now, but it was an F the last time.
It was an F, and it did.
It's a D.
It did come
Folks,
up. It could be better.
I got to stop
The thing about it, though, Gray. I mean, you know, that's a place that's near and dear to me. I know it can be better. I was educated in Meridian Public Schools. I'm kind of iffy about it. I want to see it better.
I do too, but until we're not going to see it better, until we get some qualified people in there, superintendent, and school teachers, and everything, the whole thing.
But understand this: I'm running for supervisor.
I understand that, people. This is not Craig. This is me talking.
Understand this: you have no control over what the superintendent and the school board.
They can fire
and Meridian. The superintendent of the school board, that's appointed by the mayor and approved by the city council.
I understand that, but we got to appoint Mayor Bland. You got to appoint better people, and the school board. We got to get people that are educated in order to understand education on the school board. We got to have diversification on the school board. We got to have people. In my opinion, you got to have people on the school board with college degrees. Minimum. I think it should be a minimum qualification. You should have a college degree. How can a person that does not have a college degree tell somebody about how they should be educated or implement policy when you can't understand or you don't know how to go to that next level? And it's obvious that what's going on here, because we go from an F to, that's nothing to brag about. Going from an F might well stay at an F. And politics probably played a role in that.
That wasn't, like I said, that wasn't nothing to brag about. I was just saying.
Let's stop talking about the school, because you're not running. Yeah, because I don't want anybody to get.
I don't want anybody to get.
I don't want y'all to get mad at Craig because of what I'm saying. You understand? Because he don't have anything to do. He's not endorsing anything that I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I invited Mr. Houston here because he's a friend of mine. I value our relationship, and he's running for supervisor. I'm supporting him. He was in a runoff. And Craig, you care to talk about the runoff?
Well, the thing about it is that lets people know every vote counts.
Yeah, it does.
And when you have a primary, when you're in a primary situation, if you have 3 or more candidates, I mean, the winner has to have 50% plus 1 vote. 50% plus 1. Those just the rules. The rules didn't change. I've had a lot of people call me and ask me or stop me. I'm like, those are the rules. When the runoff was going on, I said, you just had to continue to work. And, you know, it just gave me an opportunity to talk to more people. It gave me an opportunity to bring more attention to the race. Now, those are the rules, and that lets you know that every vote counts. Two more votes, guess what? I wouldn't have been in a runoff, but it is what it is. I mean, so, and let people know your vote counts. It means something. People have died. People have went through so much for us to vote. You had poll tax, literacy tests. Now, people talk about voter ID. Guess what? Don't let people stop you from voting.
That's
if
right.
If they put an obstacle in the way, run through it.
How about, I mentioned Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture. He was shot. He was stabbed. He was everything. That's what he went through, people, just so that you'll have the opportunity to vote today, and you sit around and you won't even vote at all. And you brought some numbers in here today.
I brought some numbers. This is the numbers from the 2015 voter participation. 2015-2016 year. It's really talking about black voting age population in Lauderdale County. The black voting age population in Lauderdale County, that's eligible people to vote. There's 18 or older that could register to vote. In 2016, it was 20,661 people. The registered voters was 14,799. So we had 71% of black registered voters, eligible black registered voters that was actually registered to vote. Now, let's look at this. The voter turnout in the 2016 presidential election, black voter turnout in Lauderdale County was 8,079, 54% of the registered voters in this election. That was a presidential election. You can go back and look at 12 and 8. It's even higher. Now, the voter turnout in the 2015 election, which I was a candidate for supervisor in 2015, that covers governor, lieutenant governor, that covers state auditor, attorney general, that covers all the county supervisors. The voter turnout was 4,249, 28%.
And I got to talk about that, people. That's really sad when you care more about what's going on a national level than you do on a local level, because the local politicians are the one that's implementing policy. They're the one that's creating jobs for you or bringing industry in. And you voting for the president of the United States, but you won't vote in your local. You won't. It's like cleaning up everybody else's house and not cleaning up your own house. Straightening up everybody else's yard while weed grow in your own backyard. So we got to do better. We got to have a higher voter turnout. We really got to have it this time, Craig.
We got to have a voter turnout. I want people to understand some of the things that they're voting for. There's redistricting that's going to go on next year, on a state level and on a local level.
That's right.
Now, that's only done every 10 years. Now, you had this case, Shelby, U.S. versus Shelby case over in Alabama versus Shelby County when it went to Supreme Court. And I'm telling you, now you're not going to have those protections as far as the district. It's in your hands.
That's right.
They put it in your hands.
And plus gerrymandering. They say
gerrymandering
no
is
federal
a huge
review
problem.
on that. Yep.
Gerrymandering is a huge problem. Some of these lawsuits are getting some of the people that are there, like North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and some of those things. But this is a serious election. People make decisions for you, even on a statewide level.
Could you say that again?
People make decisions to affect.
Look in the camera and tell them that.
People make decisions for you that affect your everyday life, your children. We talked about education.
Yeah.
You know, we have this formula where you're supposed to fully fund education. Over the last 20 years, it's probably been fully funded twice. These people are making these decisions for you. They're quiet because they know it's redistricting time. But like I said, you got a governor's race. You better look at that thing. You better look at it. You better look and you better pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. You got something to vote for. I mean, you got so much to vote for. You got an AG's race. You got a lieutenant governor's race. These people are going to impact your lives immediately. Immediately. It's something to vote for. I mean, you got public service commission. You got all kind of stuff that affect your lives. And like I said, I'm just one of those people that I believe in voting. All right, I'm 51 years old. I registered to vote in 1986 when I was 18. I've been voting ever since. And, you know, I just, talking to people, and you talk to some of these older people and what it means to them. They got this burning desire. I mean, I got some people out there that when I was campaigning, they can barely move, but guess what they're going to do? They're going to get to the polls. 80 and 90 years old, they're going to get to the polls. They're going to go. I mean, they're making decisions for us. And this is the only time your voice will be heard. Don't think nobody is better than you. Just because somebody may have more money, just because somebody may live in a fancy house, drive a fancy car,
that's right.
They can have 10 PhDs.
That's right.
Guess what?
That vote.
That's equality right there.
That's the great equalizer.
One person is one vote. Just remember that. It's one person is one vote. And the thing about it, I'm going to tell you something. One thing about me. I'm a straight up kind of person. You know, Gray and I talk all the time. We clash. But I'm going to tell you something. That's my friend. You know, when we first met, we got off on the wrong foot. But when you get to know people,
that's right.
It's harder in this community.
Honest dialogue.
Honest conversation. It's harder in this community. He's opened this back up for us to be able to come in and have conversation about what's going on in our community. The thing again, a supervisor has a lot of power. They have a lot of power. There's things that they can do that you don't have to jump through hoops like a city council person has to do. There's a lot of power out there. I just ask people, this is a simple question. What kind of progress have we made over the last 12 years?
No.
That's simple. What kind of progress have we made over the last 12 years? Okay, a little gravel here, a pat on the back. It's time out for that.
And the graveyard.
In the grave,
and we have other graveyards that are not being cleaned.
Let me give some credit. The late Sonny Young kept that cemetery clean until his health failed him. Started growing up. Roosevelt Mosley, who's like a second father to me, kept a portion of that cemetery clean for years, about an acre of it on his own, never saying anything. Now, again, I don't want to sound like I'm being disrespectful because I respect the dead. Cemetery looks good. It's great. It's clean. It looks good. I live right around the corner. It looks good. I go past there every other day. I mean, it looks good. But I'm going to tell you something. If we don't start thinking about our future, our county's going to turn into a cemetery. And that's what it's coming into because we're losing people. We're losing people. Yeah. People are leaving. I mean, people are leaving. I had a little niece who graduated school. She never looked this way. I got people are just leaving. Every opportunity. I got a nephew. He's just left. You know, they're just leaving. Because we haven't done a good job. And it didn't just start. Let's talk about this now. Let's look at Lauderdale County as a whole. You know, they want to give Meridian the black eye, but let's look at Lauderdale County as a whole. Look at the last 40 years. Look at how other areas have grown, how prospered.
That's right.
Have flourished. What have we done? We've regressed.
That's right.
And there's one thing that has caused that regression. Leadership.
That's right.
It's just that simple. And like I said, I'm not here to say I am just like some a magician that's gonna fix everything. But my mindset will push. I will push in another direction. You got to get these people on board, and you hold people accountable. And it won't happen overnight. We didn't get into this condition overnight, and we're not gonna get out of it overnight. But if we keep on doing the same thing, don't expect no different results. I mean, that's the definition of insanity. I mean, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. The thing about it, like I said, I've been out campaigning and talking to people. It's a huge area. And you talk to people and you listen to them. They feel like they don't have a voice. They feel like we're going the wrong way. They feel like people will tell them anything for a vote. People feel like, they're just not important. And you are important. You got a voice.
And Craig, I like to say this, and people, I like to say this about Craig. Craig did not do anything negative. He did not say anything negative. He walked and he talked to people. And that's the same thing I did. And he worked very hard, and he got the nominee. He's a Democratic nominee, and we need to support him. We need to circle the wagons. We need to support Marie Franklin. We need to support all of the Democratic candidates. Dwayne Davis. We need to support Michael Grace. We need to support all the Democratic candidates. Come on, you know all of them.
Yeah,
Craig,
you can go down. You can go Jim Hood. You can go Jay Hughes. You can go Jennifer Riley Collins, who's running for Attorney General, who is a Meridian native. Yeah. Straight from Meridian, running on a statewide office, who used to be the attorney for the ACLU. Very bright young lady, extremely bright young lady.
And I want to say this, that I want each of them to come here at some point in time. People, I'm going to bring them here on this forum right here so that you can talk to them. And if you want to call and ask Craig a question, again, the number is 601-627-5318 if you want to call and ask a question. But if you want to go on the blog, go ahead on the blog, because Craig will blog back at you. Can they blog? If they get on the website and they said something or ask you a question, they can give an answer.
They can ask me a question, and I'll come back. I need to do better with social media, Greg. You know me a long time. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's the thing about it. And the thing, let me tell you something. Anybody that puts their name on the ballot is different. I commend my two opponents. It takes some guts to get on the ballot and run for office. I mean, it takes some guts to get on the ballot and run for office. They're going to come at you all kind of ways.
Every kind of way.
But you know what? I've run for office a few times, and the thing about it is you just overlook a lot of stuff when you run. Just people going to say things that's not true. And like I said, I commend anybody that runs for office. That your life will never be the same when you put your name on the ballot.
That's right. And we cannot allow people for them to turn back the hands of time. We cannot allow for them to turn the clock back where we have white people controlling, and nobody that's not like you is going to have your best interest. It's some good people out there, because we got Michael Grace is running. He's white. So don't think that I'm a racist. I'm a realist. But I can look at your heart and I can look at your platform and know what you are. I know that Wayman Newell, he's white, but even Jimmy Smith, and I don't mean to just drag you, Jimmy, but you lost sight of us. If you had not lost sight of us, then we would have kept you in office. But we voted against you because you stopped listening to us. We were your constituents, meaning a lot of them kind of like what you're talking about. You from District 2. You grew up in that area. Jimmy Smith did too. But it got to the point where he was rubbing elbows with more Republicans that were more like us and didn't have our best interests in heart.
The one thing you'll get from Craig Houston is you'll be able to approach me and talk to me. A lot of people seem like I'm not unapproachable. I'm just kind of quiet sometimes if you don't know me. Yeah. I mean, I can be kind of quiet. Still got a shy streak.
And folks, he know this politics. I got to tell you.
I mean, I study it. I mean, it's the truth.
Whether it's the governors, no matter what it is, he know it. I promise you, he would know more about the mayor's job than the mayor. He'd know more about the council. I can't say
that now. He's served.
Oh, he knows. He knows what should be done and how it's supposed to be done. He knows.
But it's just been one of my passions to pay attention to what's going on. Ever since I was
and you've always been involved with politics.
I've been involved with politics a long time. It wasn't like I was thinking about running. It was just like I've helped different candidates.
And you love Meridian High, don't you?
I love
every
Meridian
game
High
you
down. I'm gonna be there tomorrow, tailgating, taking care of my kids. I mean,
you cooking tomorrow.
Every Friday. You'll catch me down there.
I'm gonna try to catch something. You can cook good. I can tell you that.
I mean, that's just something that's near and dear to me. Yeah. Because it was good to me. I mean, so I try to be good to it. I try to give back where I can. And I'm not one of those people that pat myself on the back, but I've been involved in this community for years. I mean, and I hadn't talked a lot about it, Gray. I've been a mentor, I've been a tutor, I've been a chaperone. I mean, I've been a volunteer. So, I just, like I said, I love this community, and we must do better. I mean, we have opportunities every now and then to make a change. You know, what's it going to be? We're going to stay in the past or we're going to move forward.
That's right. Well, Craig, tell the people again who you are and you want them to vote for you, and tell them how they can contact you if they have any questions. And definitely want you to come back. I'd like for you to come back once a week. No, just kidding. But I'd like for you to come back.
You pay me?
I ain't pay you no mind. Pay you front door.
Anyway, again, my name is Craig Houston. I want to thank Eddie Gray for this opportunity. You know, I'm glad that he's back. I mean, he leaves Meridian every 2 months, but he don't stay gone but 2 days. But I like to thank for the opportunity. I like to ask people humbly. I ask for your support. I ask for your vote. I ask for an opportunity. Now, one thing about me, I'm not one of those people that would tell you anything, and I'm not one of those people that just to get a vote. I'm not one of those people that would just do anything. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be upfront with you. And if I'm elected, we're going to have regular meetings throughout the district. We will have meetings. It may be at Velma Young, it may be in Tombstone, it may be Lauderdale, it may be Daleville, it may be Marion, it may be Russell. That's not being done now because it doesn't have to be done. I just implore people, this is your opportunity. This is the time. This is your time. Now, we don't get this opportunity but every 4 years. This is your time to make a change, because if you don't, watch and see what happens. Nothing. Like I said, we that hamster on the wheel. We deserve better, and we deserve better leadership. We deserve leadership with a vision, and I have a vision for Lauderdale County. That's to move forward. That's for economic growth, economic development, economic growth. That's for forging a stronger bond with the city. Just because people, you know, some people, y'all might not get along, but you got to get along for the people, because that's who we work for. People lose sight of that. As a supervisor, I will work hard. I will be accessible. I will be approachable. I will be upfront and honest. Now, I'm not going to tell you all you ways what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, because that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to mislead the people.
I appreciate you coming here, and I like what you said about, you know, not liking each other but working for other people. And I like to say this to you people, that we might not like each other, and we might not all agree on the same thing, but this particular time now, that we got to come together now, and we got to support the right candidate. And how we know who that candidate is, because not because that candidate look like us, because that candidate is going to be fair to this community right here.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
I want to say one more thing. One more thing I want to say is we have opportunities that come down the pipe that you can't get anymore. Once those opportunities are gone, you look at that situation in Highland Park, that's done. Mm-hmm. When that opportunity came down the pipe, District 2 could have put just as much money as that project would have cost in Highland Park into District 2 throughout, not just East End, not just Tombstone, throughout the district. Didn't do it. Action speaks louder than words. All I got to say is, give them a grade. I give them an A on, like I said, on the getting the volunteers to clean the cemetery, and I'm not taking away from that. God bless everybody's soul out there, and I think it looks good. But what are we going to do about our community as far as growth?
Do you know anybody in that graveyard, Craig?
Some older people.
What's their name?
I mean, older people.
You forgot their name?
Yeah, I mean, I know a Mr. Young that was buried.
I remember somebody was buried there when I was a little kid, but most of these people voting don't have family or friends in that graveyard.
And that's what really happened, because people died out and people then.
Yeah, and they're not burying anybody there now. But they got other graveyards. They got the one out on 10th. They got two out there.
10 and 34th. We got 10 and 23rd Street. But like I said, it's coming, and you know, it plays on people's emotions. The one thing I will say, the last time we ran against each other, he was talking about the cemetery on one of the radio shows. I think it was OKK or ALT, and he was talking about it, and this is what I said to him. I said, if you respected the dead so much, you wouldn't have a campaign sign in the cemetery. Well, that sign was gone that day, and he hadn't put one back up there. Yeah. I'm just saying now that I'm not, like I said again, I don't want to convey this thing that I'm against that. I'm not. If I'm elected, that cemetery is going to be maintained. It's going to stay clean. But also, we're going to uplift our people and do a better job of helping them around here. We just go on in reverse. We're going in reverse. I mean, you look at it. The proof is in the pudding. I don't have to say anything. I can just put the facts out there. And you can't argue with facts.
That's right.
1 plus 1 going to always be 2. 2 times 2 going to be 4. 4 plus 4 going to be 8, and so forth. It's going to always be that. Now, just look at it. Now, you had 12 years. And like I said, the time out for the fish and the deer meat and the snowballs and the plates at Tomb Super Day, that's all well and good. But we got to do something to improve the lives of our people. We're not doing a good job for our people to be able to sustain themselves. A lot of people I know around here, they're working 3 and 4 jobs. When I say, I'm serious. I know people working 3 and 4 jobs. Really, literally. Around
I know some too.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know. But great. Again, thanks for the opportunity. My name is Craig Houston, candidate for District 2 Supervisor Lauderdale County, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Play me a song, Dice, man. Dice, you better play me a song. Well, I tell you, folks, look here, we're going to take, I don't know, station break. But don't go anywhere. You can call somebody. Y'all can go use the bathroom now.